Hello everybody, this is Liam from Green Bay Western Productions, and today we have a different video. We have a reaction type video. Let's get into it. It's a Big Boy type video, so let's get started. It started. Here we go. It's about to be an hour long. I think so. Let's see what it has on the box. Warning! Federal law provides civil and criminal penalties for unauthorized copying random junk. Not going to copy it. Just a reaction type video, so.
Classic Collector's Series. Video Rails, the world's leading producer of award-winning railroad documentaries, proudly presents the most prestigious collection of rare films ever released on videotape. This spectacular footage, shot by America's finest and best-known rail photographers, has never before been released to the public. Climb aboard with us on a sentimental journey back to the nostalgic days when steam was king and railroads were the lifeblood of America. You'll thrill to the sight and sounds of the legendary trains that made history as they carried the goods of our growing nation.
Big choo-choos.
From the smallest engines performing everyday tasks,
like switching,
to the massive smoke-billowing giants of the rails, you will experience priceless moments of history. A premier collection of stunning rail
it's Big Chungus. It's Big Chungus if he was a train. It's huge.
Join with us now as we ride the rails that made history.
Here we go.
As Video Rails presents the Classic Collector's Series.
Let's watch. Union Pacific Big Boys. Here we go. Let's do it. Development.
In the mid-1930s,
The Challengers.
Pacific Railroad
Early Challenger.
in need of more
3800 class.
locomotives to handle the ever-growing train tonnages on the stiff grades of the Wyoming Division.
You can tell it's 3800 class because of all the things in the front, all the air compressors, the smoke box, the headlamp on the smoke box door. So why is the bell like that? Why is the bell like that?
Began work in 1934 on design of a new locomotive with the 4664 wheel arrangement.
3830.
Problems associated with compound articulated locomotives, the mechanical department designed
this Big Boy. This is this baby cousin of the Big Boy. This is the little cousin.
The first 14 Challenger type locomotives arrived by
That's a sand. They were just loading sand into the sand dome.
With both the operating and service
looks like it.
With a combination of power, speed, fuel economy, and low maintenance, they were the new milestone in steam development. The Union Pacific's newly formed Department of Research and Mechanical Standards had its hands full throughout the late 30s with a system-wide program of motive power.
It's huge.
But with the advent
Pulls a lot of big things.
Union Pacific's
very interesting.
Changed in favor of engines with even greater horsepower.
I think it's about like 30 minutes long.
As they were, the Challengers weren't enough
I
to
think
keep up with
30?
growing traffic as
Probably
the
more.
nation pulled itself out of the
16 millimeter
World War
color.
on the horizon. And
From the
so
40s to the 50s.
In 1940, that UP's President Jeffers directed Vice President Jobelman to come up with even larger engines to tame the grades of the Wasatch. A team comprising some of the brightest mechanical engineers.
One thing is like they were about to name these Wasatches out of the grades.
Taking a 3,800-ton train over the Wasatch unassisted. Throughout 1940 and the early part of 1941, work progressed on a new class of locomotives with a 4884 wheel arrangement. Track clearances, turntables, shops, and lightweight bridges all had to be modified to handle these new machines.
Wow.
While many of the principles learned from the Challengers were used, numerous design adjustments still had to be made in the process of creating the new locomotives in order to allow them to negotiate the curves and grades of their planned home.
You're huge.
Still needed to be chosen for these new kings of steam, and a thought was given to calling them.
That's straight from out of the Big Boy from Last of the Giants.
4000 class engines remained nameless until a machinist in the builder's shop scribbled a chalk mark on the smoke box. From that simple mark, a legend was born. Big Boy.
Green River. Ooh, it's time.
Green River, Wyoming was originally
Also from Last of the Giants.
As part of the program of extensive rebuilding, improvements were completed in preparation for their arrival. The facilities here have been enlarged and modernized. The old 100-foot turntable is gone, and a new steel turntable 135 feet long is in its place.
There's still a 3-foot overhang from the tender to the pilot. Still was.
Because of their general usefulness, they have also been pressed into service east of Green River and on Sherman Hill. With the need to keep them in service as much as possible, the shops at Green River bustle with activity. The crews here take pride in their machines, and keeping them running at peak performance is a top priority. The attention to detail begins as soon as the locomotive is brought into the service area. Thorough inspections are performed to detect any problems. Even routine tasks require a ladder.
That's how tall they were.
Keeping locomotives clean is important to the railroad. Not only does a clean locomotive look better, it is easier to work on. A little 060 shop switcher pushes a Big Boy through the wash racks for a 20-minute bath.
That's also from the Last of the Giants too.
Direct a mixture of water and oakite to remove the soot and grime from miles of hard work.
It's a little boy. It's a little one. It's a little baby. It's a little baby train.
With most of the dirt washed away,
Last of the Giants.
Still required to complete the finishing touches.
Last of the Giants.
The engine is overlooked by the crews.
After all, inspections, Big Boy is ready for the roundhouse. There's Last of the Giants C as well. It's like a very grayish here, but it's blue for the camera. Also from the Last of the Giants. There's so many. Wasn't kind of expecting this, but.
Keeping these locomotives running also requires
Last of the Giants too.
of coal and water. 28 tons of Southern Wyoming semi-bituminous coal from the mines at Rock Springs and Henna fill the coal bunker. 25,000 gallons of water are needed to fill the cavernous water tank. While these amounts may seem inexhaustible, stops must still be made en route for refueling on a normal 4-hour trip over the Wasatch. The large size of these tenders allows a relatively long run of 75 miles between stops on easy terrain, or about 40 miles on steep grades. After the climb up the Wasatch, engine 4020 basks in the sun beneath Castle Rock. Engine 4005 is the only Big Boy ever converted to burn oil. Beginning in December 1946, as an experiment resulting from a coal strike, it served as a rolling test bed while the railroad searched for greater economy in operation. Unfortunately, the single burner that was installed didn't heat the firebox evenly, so after putting up with 14 months of poor fuel combustion, it was converted back to burn coal in March of 1948.
Also, this is the one that had an accident. This was the only one that had an accident in 56, I think. I'm going to have to correct this in the editing, but I think it was 56 that had it. It was 56.
And then take hold as 4005 starts out of town with a particularly heavy eastbound freight. Wheel slippage is often a problem with articulators, but the Big Boys hold the rails better than most. With steam escaping from every joint, 4005 slowly accelerates the train out of town.
That's nice. I found these VHS tapes. A friend of ours, a family friend, found these at an auction and handed them over to me when I was at school, which was very kind. And I'm gonna enjoy this.
4013 steams by with an extra consist of maintenance equipment.
I had a bunch of VHS tapes. I had a bunch of these. Well, not a bunch. I had like 5, 6 more. I don't remember how many.
Green River, the terrain is fairly gentle, and the big boys are able to run at speed. They are as much at home flying across flatlands at 70 miles per hour as they are slugging it out at 12 miles per hour on stiff mountain grades.
The 9000s were, this is their prime. 9000s is around on these ones.
The big boys can blast uphill at a good clip. Whether hauling merchandise or pulling a stock extra, the 4000s move it faster than any other locomotive.
Even the 9000s? It's crazy. I thought we just saw this one. No, never mind, we didn't.
An eastbound freight adds some color to the horizon and to the barren brown landscape as it crests a hill near Medicine Bow on the way to Laramie. The only smoke signals left in this one-time Indian territory are from steam locomotives.
That's a lot of smoke. Pretty sure they didn't. I'm pretty sure they did that for the camera, maybe. I don't know. Probably. I don't know. I don't know how this works.
Further east, near Rock River, a heavy manifest charges past in a flurry of smoke and steam.
Here he goes. Pulled over 5.5 mile long train on level track.
Another train rounds
That's also
the
from the last
afternoon, pulling hard to make Laramie by nightfall.
That's also from the last of the guys right there. Look at that. He was not abandoned because he failed at what he was designed to do.
4003 blasts through a cut with a train of reapers bound for eastern markets.
I think this is another one. I think so. I think this is another one. Yeah, I think this is another one from Last of the Giants. I don't know. Maybe? I don't think so. Eventually I'm planning on going to Scranton, where it's going to be displayed. 4014 is going to be displayed. But I don't know. 4014 is going to be displayed.
Wyoming is
somewhere.
a major point on the Union Pacific map. Here, considerable rebuilding has been necessary over the years to keep up with the growing demands of ever larger steam locomotives. The 650-ton coaling station has been in service since 1917. A 5 million gallon water station was built in 1928, reflecting the dry climate of the area.
It's huge. It's very, very interesting.
The turntable at Laramie is a full 135 feet long and was completed early in 1941 in anticipation of the arrival of the big boys. There is constant activity in the shops and around the yards.
You can't even see the wheels.
Part of keeping the parade of trains rolling over the hill.
Nice. There's people. Is that people? Is that rail fanning?
The struggle at Sherman Hill begins. Climbing a grade as steep as 1.5% on the way to the summit, 25 miles and almost 1,000 feet of elevation away.
It made everything more blue in the camera. I just realized that. Or more lighter. Everything's a little bit darker. I'm gonna go turn off my lights and see if that works. That does the trick. That does the trick. No, it didn't work, but it
60 miles per hour.
Oh, those wheels are rotating. Look how fast they are.
Snaking through the
That's also from Last of the
near
Giants.
Hilarious, the 4003 billows smoke into the crisp, thin air at 7,600 feet elevation. Once over the summit,
Massive
most
Giants.
of the smoke comes from heated brake shoes as the train slows downhill. Rolling into the yards, there is little time to stop for rest. Precious cargoes must keep moving to their destinations.
Yeah, I can't wait to
Travel
see
in the
it.
little wooden station at Brighton, Colorado, as 4023 thunders past with a heavy freight from Denver.
Denver, Colorado. There it goes. Cheyenne, Wyoming.
As the last major outpost before the climb up the eastern side of Sherman Hill, Cheyenne, Wyoming has become the heart of Union Pacific Steam. The massive yards and engine servicing
Massive
facilities are
Giants,
equipped to quickly
Sync
and
4
efficiently
Massive Giants.
perform any task required. The 48-stall roundhouse and complete engine shops can service everything from small switchers to 1.25-million-pound big boys. The 126-foot turntable will just barely accommodate the 132-foot length of a big boy, with the locomotive overhanging 3 feet on either end.
That was
The
the wrong
shops
one.
of Cheyenne had to be enlarged to match the proportions of the big boys. When the 4000s were built, they set many records that still stand. Ancient 3/8 steel boilerplate forms a boiler almost 9 feet in diameter. An average living room could fit inside the 20-foot-long firebox. The 68-inch drivers, combined with exceptionally well-balanced running gear, allow a top speed of over 80 miles an hour. 300 pounds of steam pressure produce over 6,000 horsepower. At the servicing tracks, water for steam is drawn from the 350,000-gallon water tank. The 650-ton coaling tower at Cheyenne can service as many as 5 locomotives at one time. With a steam engine's tender, capable of taking more than 20 tons of coal, hopper cars must be spotted regularly at the coal conveyor to keep the tower well supplied. Cheyenne is the home for the big boys like number 4017. Although they have
4017 is down in the National Rare Museum
484s are seldom seen east of
in
here.
America,
They do
not
run
in Green Bay,
occasionally to
not
North Platte, but their
York.
tremendous strength is used mainly on the hill. Passing through turnouts in the yard, it is easy to see where the big boys' articulation comes into play to enable
Is it
the
from
long
Massive
wheelbase
Giants?
to
I'm not
negotiate
sure.
sharp turns.
Maybe
Even
it
with
might
this,
just be
the
flipped.
extreme boiler
I don't know.
length necessitated considerable track realignment work, including increased track spacing to avoid colliding with trains on adjacent tracks. The running boards were also reduced in width from the original 20 inches to 15 inches to give extra clearance.
That
on
one's definitely from
flips.
Massive Giants. Million and a quarter pounds in weight. Irresistible force. Enough of it.
Engine 4017 heads a long string of empty refrigerator cars back to Western fruit producers.
This is the one in the National Rare
Westbound
Museum.
passes Tower A and the Colorado and Southern Overpass on its way out of town. Following shortly after is the 4018.
It's brother. It's a brother or a sister.
4006 charges out of town in a spectacular show of smoke and steam.
I'm pretty sure they did that for the cameras. I don't even know at this point. I heard from Heiss, go check out him, but I heard from him that they mainly do it for that. At least in preservation. I'm not sure on when it's actual railroading. I don't know, but probably. I don't know.
The 4019 already has its train rolling at a good clip as it leaves Cheyenne's yards and heads for Laramie.
I don't know if 4019 is still around. I know 17, 23, 14, and 4005 are still around. I don't know what the other 4 are.
Another
That one's from
the 4011 takes up the slack and drags an almost endless westbound out of Cheyenne.
Last of the Giants. That one. Nice.
In the cab, the engineer checks
That one's
the
over
brake
from last
pressure
year,
and
guys.
notches out the throttle to put over 9 million pounds of train into motion.
Start the tons of rolling. It took some doing to hold Big Boy back. Big Boy. Listen. If you look right there on the flatbeds, there are some tanks of some sort, or maybe tractors. But that's the scenes from Last of the Giants as well. I'm gonna point that out every single time. Just gonna say that right now. Even though it's like 20 minutes into it. Last of the Giants as well.
On the fly from the tower man.
Boom. Grabbed him on the fly. Last of the Giants. Very interesting. Well, that one is not. I'm pretty sure the next scene, I'm going to call it. The next scene will be Last of the Giants. The Last of the Giants scene, I'm going to call it.
A diesel-powered city streamliner rolls into Cheyenne.
That's a nice yellow train. It's a yellow one. It's a yellow diesel. Compare with
The engineer keeps a firm
No one is
on the
not.
throttle and
Last of the
eyes on
Giants.
track ahead as the train gathers momentum on the east side of Sherman Hill. Even with the might of a big boy, a full throttle run is needed to handle the stiff grade ahead.
Oh, that one's from Last of the Giants as well. So I'm gonna record another one and post it without my commentary. Just gonna say that. So if you're gonna ask one without commentary, I will do
Is
that.
down to about 20 miles an hour with 4,100 tons.
That's a lot of tons. That is very heavy.
At Granite, the grade has increased to more than 1.5%. On the Harriman line near
That's the
Unfair, the
Giants.
grade is easier. Approaching
Nothing
Dale,
less
a
than Giants.
westbound manifest charges by.
He gave way to his electronics, drip power, and the atom. We put it to work on the Iron Trail. That's another Last Giant scene. Another one. Another one. That's another one. That one isn't bad. That one's a good one.
At Dale, Track 3 comes in from the southeast, bypassing the better-known summit at Sherman. Although this route has more curves, it also has an easier climb with less than a 1% grade.
Ooh, there we go.
A solid train of refrigerator cars speeds east past the famous rock outcropping above Dale Creek before reaching the crest at Sherman.
Here he goes. Here they go. Wow. Cool.
Engine 4020 heads west with 4,000 tons of manifest.
I don't remember if it's 20 or it was 30 or 40, 30 or 60 minutes long. I'm not sure. So we're gonna have to wait and check and find out. It's huge. There it goes, speeding along.
Number 4006 comes out of the bore at Hermosa, the only tunnel on the line over Sherman Hill.
Well, they took out the flaps. They took down the flaps. They were over the stack. They can't
Gas
take it
Turbine
now.
56 leads a Big Boy into the tunnel as the giants of two eras work together.
High Iron did a video on this.
To maintain fast schedules, often leading to interesting power combinations. A single F3 diesel unit is dwarfed by the Big Boy it is helping at Farrell. It would take at least 4 of these 1,500 horsepower diesels to equal the strength of one Big Boy. Even though they don't put as much power in a single unit, the diesel's easy maintenance and low water demand are catching on with management, and the steam locomotive's days are numbered.
Sads. I wish more locomotives were preserved. I'm grateful for how many we do have, but it's sad that not more were preserved. Well, I'm talking about steam locomotives in general.
2.5 million pounds of Big Boys shake the earth as they thunder by. Few sights could be more impressive than double-headed Big Boys on Sherman Hill, but it is a rare occasion when a train actually requires the muscle of two 488-4s. The most common reason for double-heading Big Boys westbound is to transfer extra engines back to the other side of the hill. Since the eastbound grade more often requires double headers, keeping the power balance is a never-ending job.
Interesting.
Class engines power their heavy manifest along the rolling terrain of Sherman Hill.
Winter 1956. So, roughly 5 years before Big Boy is fully retired.
4013 struggles against the driving snow at Cheyenne.
Just look how big the tender was compared to that hopper. To that hopper car. That's a reference to how big these things were.
Big Boy blasts through the cut and across the fill at Spear in a syncopated symphony of steam more grand than any musical composition. Everything seems right for the moment.
Got the steam for this choo-choo.
Though their lifetime spans less than 2 decades, the Big Boys have left their mark on history, just as sure as their smoke could be seen across the hills of Wyoming. No diesel could make the earth shake or the mountains tremble like the mighty Big Boys. Their mournful whistles and their thundering exhausts proclaim them the titans of the Wasatch. Now their echoes are silent, but their memories live on, for they were truly the giants of the rails.
Well, that answered my question. That was 30 minutes long. It was a very, very good one. Hope you all enjoyed this one. See ya. This is Liam from Green Bay Western Productions signing off.